talking with some amazing. Welcome to Fearless Money Mind, where we have been talking with some amazing women about how we can conquer our money stress, conquer our mindset. We can start building confidence and step into abundance, prosperity, and that life of joy that we all would love to have. And today I have a phenomenal woman with me, and I cannot wait to introduce her to you. I'm going to have to read some of this stuff because I can't remember it, but she's amazing. She is an Empower Hermit. I think I'm saying that right. Empower Hermit speaker, a certified coach, a mom life strategist. Who could use one of those, right? She is an absolute force in personal transformation. She speaks on stages. She has a best-selling book, Women Inspiring Nations. We need to hear about that. And many empowering books, including 70 Days of Happy Life is Better When You Smile. We could all use some of that too. So there's so much more, and I'm going to share it in the show notes, but would you just join me in welcoming Shelley? We have had a wonderful conversation in advance of this, and I can't wait for you to hear from her. So Shelley, welcome.
Thank you so much. Yes, we have had such a great conversation already. So I am excited about this. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm excited too. So as we were getting started, you and I were talking about women and stepping into power. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that might be a good place for us to start and just keep that conversation going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? So funny, like we were saying, I think sometimes women get mentally stuck because we know that there's power within us, but we're juggling those two sides of, I know I feel powerful, or I know that there's something more, but women are supposed to be like this, or women are not supposed to be aggressive, or women are not supposed to be assertive, And so I think that when women step into the position of empowerment, one thing I think is that society, as far as society sees it, it looks like a negative, that we're owning ourselves, we're owning our power, we're owning our gifts, we're owning who we are. And it's not a negative, but it can be seen that way, which I think sometimes keeps us stuck.
Do you think that that's also a perception that we carry, that we're being perceived that way?
Absolutely. I think it's on both ends. I think it's been put in us so much that even if it's not true, it's something that we're holding on to. So even if somebody is like, hey, I see this power in you, I see this person in you, I think sometimes we do get stuck in it because it's been pushed on us since we were young. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a family, wanting to be, a parent. But I think from the time that we're young girls, we take them to the store, we get them baby dolls, we tell them what a great mom they are. They come home, they cook, they change the baby's pampers. So we're putting this into them from the beginning. And so we never give an opportunity. We don't think about the opportunity of the mom and we think about the either or. So you're this good mom, take care of your baby, make food for your baby, make food for your family, instead of adding that extra thing of, oh, you like to be a doctor? Oh, that's wonderful. What a wonderful woman and mom that you are. So I think we neglect to put that part in. So it's embedded in us as we grow that we have to make a choice to either be a present mom, an active mom, a good mom, or to have personal fulfillment.
So there's no having it all. There's no having both worlds.
Right. You have to choose. And I personally believe that we can. I love the quote by Katharine Hepburn, and she says, women can have it all, just not all at the same time. And that freed me because I think I was chasing that. I'm going to have it all. I'm going to prove you wrong. I can do this and do that. But when I sat back and realized that there are life seasons, and when we fight against the season, it becomes very frustrating. It can leave us feeling bitter. It can leave us feeling empty. It can leave us, feeling like there's a void or that we're not valued. But when we work with that life season and understand that this is what I have today, right now, for the next 2 years, for the next 5 years. Great. I've put into that. Now I get to add this part into it because now my life season has shifted. When we get that mindset change and understand that we're not going to do everything all at once, all the time, but we can work with the life season and add our fulfillment, our duties, our responsibilities, our goals, our dreams, our passion, we can add it in as our life seasons change.
Something that you said earlier when we were speaking before the call is that you can be in your season and still add to it. You just add maybe 10% of that other thing that you want.
Yes, we're so busy trying to balance life, make sure I have this T cross this T, look at this, look at that. But this may not be the time for that. This may not be the time for you to go back to school. You have a set of twins, 13-year-old twins and a toddler. This may not be the time for you to go to school, but you know what it can be? The time for you to look at events. The time for you to maybe join some type of a meetup that you can do once a month or once a quarter. Maybe you can look at one online class that is not a stressor. And maybe you can take that class once a week. What can you add without the burnout, without the overwhelm? We're not looking to overstimulate our lives. We're looking to harmonize it.
I think that's a really good point. And that's actually a good little nugget to write on your bathroom mirror. Not looking for overstimulation. There's plenty of that.
Too much, right?
Yes. And everything is it's got to happen right now. Mm-hmm. And I think that really does stir up a lot of stress in us because, it used to be when I was growing up, the thing was, the phrase and the behavior was like the keeping up with the Joneses thing. Mm-hmm. Well, now it's just keeping up with yourself.
Right.
All these yeses that all these things you say yes to and trying to juggle it all and then balance the life.
Yes. Yes. And that is the thing. We are still juggling so many things. And what I find is that now it's getting better, but we've been juggling so many years, so many things without asking for the assistance that we need. Because again, it's been embedded that we should be able to do it all. We should be able to take care of it all. Okay, you can't take care of it all. Then where are you wasting time? Where are you not doing this? Versus us being able to say, I have a 100% bandwidth and this is what I can take care of at this particular time. And these are the things that I need assistance with. We don't want to burn out anymore. We don't want to do that. We don't want to rest when we're dead. We want naps now.
We do. And don't you find that we're really bad at asking for help?
Yes.
We are wearing this superwoman cape like it's a badge of honor.
Yes.
And we can't let anybody know that we need some help.
Right. Right. And that's where we're failing ourselves. And when we fail ourselves, guess what? Then essentially we're failing this way too, because all of that stress, all of that overwhelm, all of that burnout, all of that frustration, we're spewing it. Versus us being able to say, you know what? This is what my week looks like. And these are the top priorities of my week. 1, 2, and 3. They are the top priorities. Yes, I have a couple of other things on there, but where can I delegate? I have 2 teenagers. What on this list can be delegated to them? I have a spouse or a partner in the home. What can I ask for their help with? I have a bestie and our kids are the same age. How can we help one another out? And do play dates where I'm going to get a moment to work on my business or just take a bath without interruption or go enjoy an ice cream cone, go get my hair done. Or how about just nothing? How about we don't always have to have something to do in order to ask for help? How about I just want to sit on the couch for 20 minutes and look outside?
And those are the best moments is when you can get to that quiet place. And I know, especially raising kids, it's difficult to ever find it.
Yes.
But it is really hard to walk in your gifts and step in your power, then walk in your gifts. Or maybe they go hand in hand, but
I was going to say it could be interchangeable.
Exactly. It's hard to do that if you are spread so thin. And because I think when we're spread thin, we are giving very little of ourselves. It feels like we've given all of ourselves, but the problem is that because we're spread thin, we're coming up short. We're not giving our best in each of those areas.
Absolutely.
So there's no power in that.
There's no power in that because I can't even show up for myself. So how can I show up for someone else when I'm not even showing up for me? Showing up for me is understanding when I need rest. Showing up for me is understanding what fulfills me. Showing up for me is understanding what makes me feel good. Showing up for me is self-awareness. So if I don't have any of these things and I am incapable of showing up for myself, how can I give to someone else? You only receive from me what I've been able to pour into me.
It always reminds me when I have conversations like this of when you're going on a trip and you get on the plane and you're taking off and the stewardess get up in front of the passengers and they say, okay, if something were to happen in case of emergency, you put the mask on your face first and then your child.
Yes.
And I know that probably horrifies some people, especially if
every baby.
Parent. Yeah. It's like you got a little one, like, no, I'm going to take care of them first. It's like, wait a minute, if you pass out,
then what?
Then what?
Then what? Right. If you don't have oxygen, if you don't have the life first, how can you pour life into anyone else?
Exactly. So
I have to breathe the life.
We do. So one of the things that we had talked about too is, I mean, we're living in such a constantly changing world, and technology is changing jobs. People are leaving and coming into the job space. People are starting businesses or winding them down or shifting their businesses. What does that look like for a woman, particularly if she's trying to pivot, like go in a different direction? It's not that she's just doing growing in the same area, but she really wants to do a shift and go from one industry to another, or from a 9-to-5 to self-employed, those kind of things. How does that factor into a woman's mindset and her lifestyle?
First of all, I want any woman who's in that position to understand the empowerment that you've just taken on, because what you've done is you've taken ownership of what your next is going to be. And so for one, you need to sit in that for a moment. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit sometimes. You're taking ownership to say, I'm ready for the next, or I'm not fulfilled here, or I'm ready to see what else is out there. So being able to take ownership and actually sit in that power, you'll need to remember that, because it's not always going to be easy. So you'll need to remember that feeling of empowerment and taking on something to say, I'm ready to own my next level, my own happiness, what's going to happen in this next season of my life. So that's a wonderful place to be in. And so the next thing I would say is to take an account of a little self-awareness. What is your why? Now that you have this empowering moment, what is your why? Because at some point in time, you're not going to feel as empowered. You're not going to feel as successful. You're not going to feel like things are working out the way that they should. And so when your feelings get in the way, you need to go back to what's sustainable, which is your why. Why did I want to do this step? Why did I want to move out? What is the end goal of this thing? And allow yourself to sit in that for a minute. Don't burn yourself out. When you reach that point of, I don't know, stop, sit, reflect, and reevaluate why you're even there. Because remember, you went into this for a certain reason. Let's go back and get that reason again. Sit in that reason. Ask yourself, is this still my why? Is this still my reason? And if it is, give yourself a break for a day, 2 days, 3 days. Get that life, breathe that oxygen in again, and then find your next 3 priority steps so that you could keep moving forward again.
I think that's great to sit in it. Because
Yes,
how often do we decide to do something and we've probably given it a lot of thought because women do that. We sit on things for a while.
we do.
But then when we decide I'm doing it and I'm going for it, whatever it is, then we could just start moving full speed ahead. And quite often we're going to encounter some things that we didn't expect that are maybe it's harder than we thought it would be. Maybe there's some skills that we thought we didn't even know they were going to be part of the process, and we don't have them. We got to go get them. And when am I going to find time to do that? So you get in all of that in your head, and to stop and just sit in it again and remember why. I think it gives power right back to you to say, okay, I can do this. I can.
Yes. And then it shows you also the control that you have where your self-care is. Because if you can say to yourself, I'm running here, I'm getting ready to be on exhaust. The business is frustrating me. I need a moment. I need a minute. I need to back up. I need to see what is depleted in me so that I can refill it. And so that gives you that power to understand yourself as well. There's so many things that sitting back and reflecting does. And those are two of the main things. It gives you a chance to be in control of your self-care, to understand when you're reaching the point of overwhelm and depletion, and an opportunity for you to readjust if you need to.
Right. And I think we also need to give ourselves permission that if we've changed our mind about things, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Who said that you can't be flexible? Who said that you can't change? Who said that anything is permanent? You hold the pen, the pencil, whatever it is. You have the pen, put a line through it and write something else. You have the pencil, flip it over, erase, and pencil it in again. You have that empowerment to do that. You have the opportunity to do something and decide it's not what I thought it was going to be. And actually, I just don't like it. It's not that there are trials that came my way and I still want to move forward. It's really that I don't think this was what I really wanted to do. You have the power to say, I'm going to try it again, try something else, reevaluate, and see where that takes me.
This is all such good stuff. I see so many women that have become stuck in their comfort zone, I guess, for better. And it's not necessarily where they want to be, but it feels safe.
Yes. Yes. I encourage my clients to do something new. And it doesn't have to be business related. Do something new, because that's where that fearless comes in. When we go, I'm going to do something new. I'm going to go roller skate. I didn't roller skate when I was young. I always wanted to roller skate, but I've always been scared of feeling embarrassed because I have to hold on to the edge. Well, guess what? When you get out there and you roller skate and you hold on to the edge, there's nothing else. There's nothing else that can make you feel negative about roller skating. Try something new. Go bake those cookies. If they all burn up, if you put too much salt in them and they're horrific, you've done the process now. And now you get to say either I want to do the process again so I can make it better, or that wasn't really for me. Let's try something else. Life is an adventure, and it is as adventurous as you allow it to be. You don't have to skydive to try something new. Trying something new could be going to a restaurant by yourself because you always love to have company with you. So I'm going to try something new and see, do I really like my company like I say I do? I'm going to take a book with me and I am just going to go to lunch by myself. And then I'll evaluate, what did that feel like for me? When we do small things like step outside of our comfort zone in a personal area, it really does boost the confidence to try it in another area. Because fear is fear. It's being afraid of the stepping out. So if you can conquer it over here, you can try it over there.
And how many women, and you just mentioned this, going, taking a book and going to eat by yourself. Mm-hmm. How many women would be absolutely petrified to do that?
Me
too. Me too. And I've been forced into that situation a time or two when I'm on business travels and stuff, and I feel so self-conscious.
Right. And so that's one of the reasons why I try to do it every now and then, just to go, and it doesn't have to be lunch or anything, just to go sit at Starbucks, just have something to drink, get a book. Sometimes, of course, I take work, but sometimes it's like, just sit without having to be very busy. What is it like to just sit and just drink your drink and just enjoy what's happening outside? What is that like?
And it's amazing how something that sounds so simple could actually challenge someone. Mm-hmm. And not only that, when they go do it, then mm-hmm. they build their confidence.
Yes. It's an empowering moment. It's a moment that you get to go back and say, hey, I went and I sat down and had lunch by myself and did not care if anyone was looking. So with that little bit of confidence, wow, maybe I can, maybe I can take that first step and start working on my logo. I'm not going to do anything big. I'm just going to start playing with it. But when you start playing with it, then you begin to release ideas for it. A lot of times we sit back and we wait for the idea before we make the step. But in many scenarios, when we make the step, we're able to see it, and then ideas begin to flow from it. Neither way is right or wrong, but if we take steps before we wait for everything to be perfect, we will see that a lot of times with each step, the next one will come through.
I've seen that in my own life. And even in times where I felt a little paralyzed by whatever the task was. And then, it's kind of like, okay, just jump.
Yes.
And then when you jump, it's like, oh, okay. Now I'm in movement.
Bad. I try to keep the Nike mentality. Just do it. Because at the end of the day, I always want to be able to say I did it and it didn't work out versus I wonder if it would have worked out.
Mm-hmm. So and I think we want to get to the end of, or we don't want to get to the end of our life. When we're at the end of our life, we want to be able to say, we don't want to have regrets, and we want to be able to say, we tried the things that we're curious about.
Yes. And some things worked in my favor and some things did not. But I don't want to sit back and say, I always wanted to take a trip or do this or do that. And I never did because I was afraid of this or I was afraid of that. I want to be able to say, I booked a trip, hated it, so I will never do that again. Or I booked a trip and found out that I love to travel. And now I have 2 trips set up for next year, so whatever it is, it's a part of our self-discovery and realizing what it is that we like, what we don't like, what we used to like and no longer like. There's no wrong answer that you're going to get when you step out of your comfort zone to begin to learn more about who you are.
Well, I'm imagining that you have probably stepped outside your comfort zone a lot based on your bio. I mean,
I've learned.
You have been on CBS, NBC, ABC. You've been on international stages. You have been recognized as one of the top 25 women in business.
Yes.
So that doesn't happen by staying in your comfort zone.
It doesn't happen by staying in your comfort zone. And I tell you, when people look at that, they'll go, oh my gosh, you're just so that's what I want. I want to have courage like that. And you know what I tell them? I want to have courage like that too. And they're like, but you've done these things. I've done things scared. I've done things and I've had to change my mentality to what's the worst. And so if that's the worst, then what's going to happen? I'll never know. It took me a year, Elizabeth, a year to release my book after I wrote the book, because I sat there going, who's going to want to hear this? Okay, you wrote the book. Okay, great. It already took a year and some to write the book because I didn't feel like I had it in me to write a book. You're not an author. Well, what is an author? Someone who gets an idea, writes the idea, put it in some pages and publish it. And I kept talking to myself, oh, you're not a writer. You're not this, you're not that. Challenged myself to write the book. Cool, wrote the book, but never published it. Because I talked to myself, but what if no one buys it? What if no one this? What if people talk about you? What if you're embarrassed? What if they say, who do you think you are? All of these things. And one day I sat down and I said, what if you're a published author? If nobody ever buys your book, ever, if they say, your book was horrible, if nobody wants it again, if they tell me I should never write as long as I live, you know what they'll never be able to take from me?
The fact that you did it.
Exactly. And I am now an author. Whether you love the book, whether you hate the book, whether you want to burn the book, you will never be able to take away from me that I am a published author. So out of everything that could go wrong, there was one thing that was the foundation and that was going to go right. And that is you will come out on the other side as a published author. And when I did it, people loved my first book. And because I went into it going, it doesn't matter if you like it or not, I'm a published author. And that's what I stood on. And that's what took me to the next step to say, write another one. But that process, I go through that process too.
I certainly have. And so it's comforting to me to know that you do.
I have been, the first time I submitted myself to a news station, again, I was like, well, I know you're an author, but you're not supposed to be on TV though. So I said, well, what are the things that you have to offer? Okay. Well, what's the worst that'll happen? They'll say no. You're still in this position. Does that take away your expertise because they said no? It does not. And so I went out there and did it. And to my surprise, they sent it back and said, when can we book you? And I said, I can do it again. So I am proof that when we fill our confidence bucket, it empowers us and we go, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, you can say no, but that doesn't change the fact that I have an expertise in this and I did it before, so I can do it again.
That's such a great mindset to possess too.
It takes practice, but once you actually own it, you're so empowered by it. You feel like there's no that's going to break you because you understand that even though you said no, it does not diminish who I am. I can go 50 million different routes. If I never published a book, I can write a blog, So right. There's so many things. If I never did that, I can write some poetry. So it doesn't diminish who you are. It's we just get to decide how we want to use the gifts and the things that are within us. So it takes some time sometimes to get that, to hold that, and to believe that. But when you continue to put your foot forward and jump into those moments, even in fear, you're going to find at some point, you're going to walk away saying, this is the worst that can happen, but it doesn't stop me from being this.
I think too often we assume identity with the thing.
Absolutely.
We take that on. And
Absolutely.
So we have to learn that it's not who we are. It's just something we're capable of.
Absolutely. Because who you are is the character of your being, and everything else are the things that you have added. When I did a podcast recently And one of the things that I said in there is when I was able to gravitate and understand that my value does not depend on my circumstance, that was very freeing for me. So it didn't matter what happened in the day. It didn't replace the value of who I was. So whether I yelled at the kids, whether I got something together, whether I didn't, whether it was a good day, a bad day, whether I worked as much as I wanted to, whether the deal went through, didn't go through, my value, those are circumstances. Value is not dependent upon it.
Oh, that's a good message. I think we all need to hear that and be reminded of that probably every single day.
Yes, yes. And it's something that I remind myself of, especially when I run into circumstances that hit me hard, or I really put my all into something. Or I've had this happen. I put my all into a workshop and put it together and everything's good and didn't get one sign up, y'all. Not one. So that hit hard. And it was, well, are you really as good? Maybe you're not. Maybe you don't have a message. Maybe you don't have this. So in times like that, I've really had to go back and say, that was a circumstance. That is not your value. Let's take a minute. Let's refresh. Let's regroup, and let's look at what may have been the reason why this happened. What do you need to do next time? Or maybe you need to start sooner, or maybe you need to do this. But don't let the circumstance determine the value.
It's so interesting you brought that up, because that's happened to me too. And, it's very easy to feel defeated. That's a natural response to something like that. But what I decided to do was do it anyway.
Yeah,
so all by myself.
I did that.
But it's it's a practice session.
That's what I did. I did that. And guess what? It ended up being part of a program. And, and it was used for bonuses, and people love it. I'm like, why didn't y'all show up 2 years ago? But yes, I said it's practice. It's an opportunity for me to get the kinks out, for me to redo this, maybe put an extra note in there or something like that. But yes, so there are times when we do say, oh, okay, this hit me so hard, I must not be. And that's when we have to remember who we truly are.
Absolutely. So we've dropped a lot of great nuggets here. So we've talked about stepping into your power, understanding your why, and if things aren't going right, to step back and just rethink through that.
Yes.
And make sure that why is still intact.
Exactly.
And if it's not, be okay with just scratching it off your list.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then
give yourself that permission. Like you said, give yourself that permission to switch, to pivot, to change, to decide it's not even what I want anymore. That is okay. We are constantly evolving. Give yourself an opportunity to learn something new about yourself. All of these things are okay.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think we need to practice it more too.
Absolutely. Along with giving ourselves grace.
Yes.
We both jumped in there. Yes. Yes. Forgiveness and grace. Yes.
Absolutely.
I love it.
If people wanted to work with you or, immerse themselves in, you've got the books, you've been on podcasts and all that. What is the best way for them to find you?
Yes, you can set up a coffee chat with me, a complimentary coffee chat, and I will definitely leave that link. So I love being able to do one-on-one coffee chats. We can connect on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn at my name, which is Shelley Meche'tte, ShelleyMeche'tte. And then I would love to leave a free gift, and we can always connect that way. But schedule a coffee chat at any time.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that idea too. Just a coffee chat.
Get your coffee. We're going to sit and we're going to sip and we're going to have a good time just getting to know one another, finding out where you are in your journey, where you are in your business, and how we can put those two things together so that you can work them both without guilt and burnout.
And that's the key, without guilt
Yes.
and burnout.
Yes. Absolutely. Because I'm tired of both of them. I don't want them. I don't want them.
I don't either. And it's amazing how you go through life for a period of years or decades and you just accept that, it's just the way things
The
are.
way it is. Right.
And you accept it
Right.
instead of
Yes.
saying, no, get out of here.
Exactly. We're like, it's just life. That's just how it is. That's just how it is today until you learn tomorrow that it doesn't have to be that way.
Exactly.
So
I enjoyed our conversation so much.
Yes, thank you. Me too.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And we're going to have you back.
Please, I will come back at any time. Thank you so much for having me.
Where we are building up